अल्हम्दुलिल्लाहि व कफ़ा व सलामुन अला इबादिहिल लज़ीना इस्तफ़ा अम्मा बअद फ़अऊज़ु बिल्लाहि मिनश शैतानिर रजीम व लहुल किब्रियाउस समावाति वल अर्ज़ सदक़ल्लाहुल अज़ीम। दीगर हाल, इस वक्त एक और मरज़ पेश करता हूँ, तकब्बुर। हज़रत के मवाइज़ और मज़ामीन का मुताला करने की वजह से इस मर्ज़ में भी बहुत कमी आ चुकी है। अक़ली तौर पर अपने आप को किसी से बड़ा नहीं समझता और ना किसी दूसरे को ज़लील समझता हूँ। हत्ता कि जिन लोगों के कबाइर का गलबा है और फ़िस्क़ व फ़ुजूर आया नज़र आता है, उनके मुताल्लिक़ भी नफ्स को ये कहकर समझाता हूँ कि अगर एक दो ऐब किसी शख्स के मालूम हो गए तो तू इसको क्यों कर जलील समझता है, जबकि तुझमें हज़ारों ऐब मौजूद हैं और आज तक हज़ारहा गुनाह कर चुका है। इतना ही तो फ़र्क है कि तेरा पर्दा ढका हुआ है और उसका खुल गया। इस नसीहत से क़ल्ब से तकब्बुर दूर हो जाता है। तहक़ीक़ अल्लाह ताला इस इल्म व अमल में मुबारक फ़रमाए। This person is writing that I want to present one more sickness, which is takabbur, arrogance. After reading or upon reading with the reading of Hazrat's Mawa'iz, which is the plural of Wa'az, speeches, and his written scriptures, Alhamdulillah, I feel that this sickness, this disease has become very less. Intellectually, with my mind, I do not consider myself better than anyone. Neither do I consider anyone inferior to me. Even those people whose major sins are apparent, or fisq or fujur, their fisq, their open sins, big major sins, they are open. Upon these people as well, upon such people as well, about such people as well, I say to myself that if you have come to know the faults of a few faults of a person, then how could you consider them inferior or lowly when you yourself have thousands of faults and you have done thousands of sins? The only difference is that your cover is there and his cover has been removed. With this instruction, arrogance goes away from the heart. And this is the treatment of kibr. That kibr from the heart, it might be there, but with our mind we have to tell us that there is every reason that we might be inferior, we are inferior, and this person is much better. We cannot look towards anyone's faults and think that they are lowly, because what we know about ourselves should not leave time for us, should not leave space for us to think about anyone else's faults. So Hazrat wrote an answer that may Allah, Hazrat congratulated and gave him dua that may Allah give barakah in this knowledge and this action, in this ilm and this amal. हाल, अलबत्ता एक जुज़ बयान के काबिल ये है कि जब मकान पर होता हूँ और कोई काश्तकार या चमार भंगी वगैरह कोई आता है, बशर्ते कि गैर मुस्लिम हो। मुसलमान को तो हर एक को अपने से अफजल समझता हूँ, लेकिन गैर मुस्लिम को अपने से कमतर समझता हूँ, और अगर वो बराबर बैठे तो नागवार होता है। इसके अलावा भी किसी काफिर का एहतराम दिल में पैदा नहीं होता, अगरचे ये बुग़्ज़ फिल्लाह में शायद दाखिल हो, मगर जब अपने नफ्स की बड़ाई होती हो और दूसरे को अपने नफ्स के मुकाबले में कमतर समझा जाता हो तो शायद तकब्बुर की हदूद में दाखिल शुमार किया जाए। इसलिए अर्ज़ है कि अगर ये मर्ज़ हो तो उसका इलाज तजवीज़ फरमा दें। The second thing that he wants to mention is that when I am at my house and some person, some farmer or some other cleaning person or somebody who mends shoes, like these professions that are considered generally, they are considered lower. When they come and when such a person is a non-Muslim, then I feel that he is lower than me. If a Muslim, I always consider every Muslim better than me, but if a non-Muslim, then I consider them lower than me. And when they sit next to me, I feel something inside. I feel like I have negative feelings inside. And apart from these people as well, I do not have any regard or any respect for any kafir in my heart. Maybe this is included in Bughz Fillah. Bughz Fillah is having enmity for the sake of Allah. Man ahabba lillah wa man abghada lillah faqad istakmala al-iman. Whoever loves Allah and whoever has bows for Allah, hates people for the sake of Allah, then they have completed their iman. It's hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam that for the enemies of Allah you have to have some enmity. But he's saying that it's possible that this is included in that which is mentioned in the hadith. But when a person is thinking that I am high and this person is lower than me, then it might be included in takabbur. So therefore I say that I submit that if this is a sickness, then please advise the treatment. तहक़ीक़ एहतिमाल मर्ज़ ये भी मुक़द्दमा है शिफा का. And this is एहतिमाल कहते हैं किसी चीज़ का ख़दशा होना कि कहीं ऐसा तो नहीं है. मर्ज़ का एहतिमाल होना हज़रत कह रहे हैं ये भी मुक़द्दमा है शिफा का. मुक़द्दमा का मतलब होता है समथिंग दैट इज़ अ प्रेफिस, समथिंग दैट कम्स बिफोर the actual book, right, or something that, so I was saying that you thinking that this might be a sickness, this thought itself is a preface or a prelude to the actual cure, and this is something that we should pay attention to, that a lot of times our thoughts are telling many things about us. If there is no, even if we are very confident, then may Allah protect us, it is possible, it is very possible that we are wrong or we are on the path to be misguided if you are very confident. But I'm not talking about aqaid, of course we know what they are, we have to be confident about them, but our personal state, our spiritual state. Hazrat Hassan Basri rahmatullahi alayhi, if I remember correct, he's a tabi'i, he said that I have met 40 or 70 sahaba and each one of them was worried that maybe I am munafiq. Each one of them was worried about them that maybe maybe I'm a munafiq. So a person, if they are, whenever they become confident about their spiritual state, their decline starts. So therefore Hazrat is saying that this feeling that you may be sick, this may be a sickness, this itself is a prelude or a preface to the cure. इसका हासिल ये है कि मुस्लिम गैर मुत्तकी और काफिर के साथ मामला यकसां नहीं किया जाता, सो ये मसावात दीन में मतलूब भी नहीं. क़ाल तआला अफ़मन कान मुअमिनन कमन कान फ़ासिक़ा अय काफ़िरन कमा हुवा मुस्तलहुल क़ुरआन व अयज़न यदुल्लु अलैहि जज़ाउहुल मज़कूर फ़ीमा बाद व अम्मल लज़ीन फ़सक़ू फ़मअवाहुमुन नार कुल्लमा अरादू अन यख़रुजू मिन्हा उईदू फ़ीहा व क़ील लहुम ज़ूक़ू अज़ाबन नारिल लज़ी कुंतुम बिही तुकज़्ज़िबून. So, أَفَمَنْ كَانَ مُؤْمِنًا كَمَنْ كَانَ فَاسِقًا لَا يَسْتَوُونَ. This is the ayah of the Quran that Allah is saying that is a believer and a fasiq. Here the fasiq is, the detail that has written in Arabic is that in the istilah of Quran, sometimes in the language of Quran, sometimes fasiq, the technical ruling of fiqh of fasiq is somebody who is open major sinner, but sometimes Allah has used fasiq as a kafir as well, and Hazrat has proven this from another ayah of the Quran. وَأَمَّا الَّذِينَ فَسَقُوا, those people who have done fisq, فَمَأْوَاهُمُ النَّارِ, their station, their abode is, their permanent abode is nar or hellfire. كُلَّمَا أَرَادُوا أَن يَخْرُجُوا مِنْهَا, whenever they intend to come out of it, أُعِيدُوا فِيهَا, they will be returned to it. وَقِيلَ لَهُمْ, and it will be said to him, ذُوقُوا عَذَابَ النَّارِ, taste the punishment of the fire, الَّذِي كُنْتُمْ بِهِ تُكَذِّبُونَ, the one that you used to deny. So fasiq is, in some places fasiq means kafir, and Allah has said أَفَمَنْ كَانَ مُؤْمِنًا كَمَنْ كَانَ فَاسِقًا, can a believer be like a fasiq, be like a disbeliever? لَا يَسْتَوُونَ, they are not equal. So therefore what Hazrat is saying is that a Muslim, no matter how bad they may be, they are never equal to a non-Muslim. So if you do not deal with them in the same way, that dealing with them in the same way is not even required. Allah is also saying that they are not equal. और हासिल इस अदम मसावात का ये है कि हालन व अमलन बिदून ज़रूरत शदीदा व मिन्हु खौफ ज़रर, इसका इकराम न किया जावे. And the practical application of this is, the outcome of this inequality is, which Allah is mentioning, is that in this world, right now in the present state, when they are a non-Muslim and someone else is a Muslim, then that non-Muslim would not be respected except for a very urgent, severe need. For example, when we have a threat of harm from them, and giving them respect removes that threat, then except that is one example. There's other examples in which a kafir can be given respect, but only when there is a severe need. Otherwise they will not be given respect. और मालन और इहतिमालन इसके बोदो तरद का जज़म न किया जावे. And ma'alan or ihtimalan. Ma'al means future, in the future. And ihtimalan, there is a possibility. Ihtimal means possibility. Ma'alan wa ihtimalan, that in the future there is a possibility that he will become a Muslim, he will accept Islam. Is possible, or it's possible that they would die as a kafir, but we do not know. So उसके बोध तरद का जज़म ना किया जावे. यानी then don't think that, so right now I don't feel like giving him respect, or I'm not required to give him respect, but in the future if he accepts Islam then he will become respectable to me. It's not that he is disrespected forever. So I am not saying that he has lack of respect forever, but the lack of respect or inequality is because of his kufr, because of their kufr. As long as they are kafir, they will not be equal to a Muslim. But ma'alan or ihtimalan, if he becomes a Muslim in the future, there is a possibility. So I'm not going to uska jazam na kiya jawe. Matlab, the meaning is that I will not make it permanent over him. I will not say that this is forever. No. If he becomes a Muslim, then if he does, then that will be a different situation. रहा तफावत अमली, ये मबनी है मसालिह पर, वो भी इख्तिलाफ यहाँ यख्तलिफ. और राज इस तफावत का ये है कि काफिर के हसनात सब हब्द हैं, लिहाजा फ़िलहाल शरअन इसका कोई असर मुतदबिह नहीं, और मुस्लिम गैर मुत्तकी का हसना फ़िलहाल भी मुअस्सिर है. इस बिना पर अमल में तफावत लाजिम है, और अमल में शरअन इस तफावत के मुअस्सिर होने की दलील क़तई मसला जिहाद है, कमा हुआ ज़ाहिर. उम्मीद है कि इससे सब इश्कालात रफ़ा हो गए होंगे. नाउ practically dealing with them in different way, this is basically based on the situation. وباختلافها يختلف, and differs from situation to situation. And the principle at the core of this is that why is a kafir not respectable? The kafir is not respectable because they have no good deeds. Because whatever good deeds that they even do, they are all absolved, they are all dissolved, or whatever you want to say. Why? Because they are not a believer, and belief is the mandatory requisite for any good deed to be acceptable. So when they are not a believer, then no good deeds, and when there is no good deeds, then there is no respect. Therefore they do not have any asar according to our shariat. They do not have any status, they do not have any position according to our shariat. And a Muslim, although they might be a big sinner, but still whatever good deeds they might do, they have done, it has some status, it has some effect because of their iman, and therefore they have some respect. And this is the reason why they have some status, no matter what it might be, but because they are a believer, their whatever tiny few good deeds that they might have, they have gained them some status. और अमल में शरअन इस तफावत के मौसर होने की दलील क़तई मसला जिहाद है, that a believer, no matter how evil, how sinful they are, even if they call themselves a believer and they are a munafiq, hypocrite, but still there is no jihad against them. But jihad is against those who do not believe. So therefore we know from the shariat, from the masail of shariat, and from clear evidence that there is disparity. There is some disparity. There is disparity between a believer and a disbeliever. कमा हुआ ज़ाहिर, as it is apparent. उम्मीद है कि इससे सब इश्कालात रफ़ा हो गए होंगे. Saying that I hope that this would have solved all the problems or all the confusions. Again, recapitulating, practically speaking, for practical reasons, every Muslim is respectable. Why? Because there's another saying of Hazrat which summarizes it very beautifully, which is कि मैं हर मुसलमान को हालन अपने से बेहतर समझता हूँ और हर काफिर को मालन अपने से बेहतर समझता हूँ. That at present I consider every Muslim better than me. Every Muslim is better than me because the same reason that they have a belief. Who knows what is the status of their belief, what is the status of my belief? I know my faults, whatever faults I know about them, I know more faults within myself than them. So therefore, they are better than me. And a kafir, I consider them better in terms of possibility of an outcome. That they might become a Muslim and I, who knows, I will die as a non-Muslim, who knows? May Allah protect me. So therefore, I consider them better than myself. But right now, I will not deal with them respectfully. Or it's not that I will disgrace them, I will disrespect them, but I will not go out of the way to honor them. The honor that I carry in my heart for a believer, it will not be the same as for the disbeliever. And the reason we have read in detail that they do not have any good deeds, and Allah is saying that they are not equal, and there is a masla of jihad against them which proves that they are not equal. Okay, we'll read one more passage. नफ्स के मेलाने मासियत की वजह. Why does our nafs turn towards evil? नफ्स जो तक़वा की तरफ माइल और मासियत से नुफूर नहीं होता. नफ्स जो तक़वा की तरफ माइल यानी अट्रैक्ट और मासियत से नुफूर यानी फ़रार इख्तियार नहीं करता, उसकी वजह यह है कि तक़वा की लज्जत और मासियत की कुदरत से वाकिफ़ नहीं. वो इसलिए नहीं होता क्योंकि नफ्स को तक़वा की लज्जत के बारे में पता ही नहीं है, और मासियत की कुदरत या मासियत की कड़वेपन की वजह से, मासियत कहते हैं बुराई को, गुनाह को, इसकी कड़वेपन से, इसकी कुदरत से, इसकी सख्ती से आगाही नहीं है, वाकिफ़ ही नहीं है. इसको ये ख़बर ही नहीं कि तक़वा के अंदर क्या लज्जत और क्या नूर है, और मासियत के अंदर यानी गुनाह के अंदर, नाफरमानी के अंदर क्या कुदरत और जुल्मत यानी सख्ती और अंधेरा है, जुल्मत अंधेरा है. और वजह इसकी ये है कि चूँकि हमेशा मासियत ही में रहा है, इसलिए नूर तक़वा से आगाही नहीं. इसकी वजह यह है कि क्योंकि ये हमेशा से गंद में ही रहा है, इसलिए रोशनी का इसको अंधेरे में रहा है, इसलिए इसको पता ही नहीं कि रोशनी कितनी खूबसूरत चीज़ होती है या खुशबू. हज़रत हकीम रहमतुल्लाह अलैह बताया करते थे कि एक शख्स था, सारी ज़िंदगी वो पुराने ज़माने में जो वो होते थे ना, पुराने ज़माने में they did not have like sewage and stuff, so they used to gather all the waste and sewage in one place, and then a person come and clean it, right? So there was this person who was used to this. He would deal with this all the time. Then once somebody put some fragrance over him, so he passed out. बेहोश हो गया वो, because he was not used to it. It was so different for him that he could not take it, he could not bear it, he passed out. So when we are constantly in that darkness, then we'll be blinded by that. We don't know what is it. We are not aware of it. It becomes we become aversive to the norm or the beautiful thing. I'll repeat it in English, don't worry, inshallah. I mean the translation. और जबकि नूर तक़वा से आगाह ही नहीं, तो बाकायदा अल-अशिया ततबय्यनु बिज़िद्दिहा, मासियत की जुल्मत का भी एहसास नहीं. यानी नूर तक़वा मालूम ही नहीं है, और कायदा ये है, उसूल ये है कि चीज़ों को उनकी ज़िद्दों से समझा जाता है, उनके ऑपोजिट से समझा जाता है. तो जब उसको पता ही नहीं है तो ऑपोजिट कभी नहीं पता. इसलिए मासियत की जुल्मत का एहसास ही नहीं. कि अगर कभी रोशनी देखी होती तो पता चलता कि अंधेरे में हो, कभी खुशबू सूंघी होती तो पता चलता कि बदबू है, कभी साफ़ सुथरी सफाई देखी होती तो पता चलता कि ये गंदगी है. लेकिन जब उसको देखा नहीं तो इज्जत को भी नहीं समझ रहा, बल्कि इसी को नॉर्मल समझ रहा है. पर ज़रूरत इसकी है कि इसको इस नूर और जुल्मत, या यूँ कहो कि इस लज्जत और कदूरत से वाकिफ़ बनाया जाए. तो ज़रूरत इस बात की कि उसको वो रोशनी दिखाई जाए, तब उसको पता चलेगा कि ये कितनी बुरी जगह है. या उसको लज्जत और मज़ा चखाया जाए तो फिर उसको पता चलेगा कि ये कितनी बुरी ज़िंदगी है जो मैं गुजार रहा हूँ. जब इसको तक़वा की लज्जत हासिल होगी तो मासियत में कदूरत महसूस होगी. जब तक़वा की लज्जत हासिल होगी तो मासियत की बुराई, नाफरमानी की बुराई और सख्ती पता चलेगी. बस ला महाला तक़वा की हिर्स और मासियत से नफ़रत पैदा होगी. फिर ला महाला विदाउट एनी, यानी इसके ख़िलाफ़ नहीं होगा कि डेफिनेटली फिर उसको तक़वा की लालच पैदा होगी और नाफरमानी से नफ़रत पैदा होगी. So Hazrat is saying, Hazrat mentioning one thing in his speech, one of the extracts from his speeches, that why is our nafs constantly attentive and pulled towards evil and is not pulled towards goodness or light. So nafs which does not become attracted towards taqwa and does not run away from ma'asiyat. You understand ma'asiyat, right? Ma'asiyat is disobedience. Isyan, fakadhaba wa asa. Asa is turning away. The shaitan gave a lie and turned away. That's where the word has come. Fakadhaba wa asa. Asa means isyan, ma'asiyat, turning away, disobedience. So nafs which does not become attracted towards taqwa and forever does not run away from ma'asiyat, from disobedience, the reason is that it is not aware of the beauty and the taste, the flavor of taqwa, and is not aware of the hardness and the evil of the bitterness of the disobedience or ma'asiyat. It has no idea what pleasure and what light there is in taqwa, and what a darkness and hardship is there in disobedience. And the reason is because it has always lived in darkness. It has always lived in this hardship of ma'asiyat. Therefore, it is not aware, it has not seen the beauty of taqwa. And when it is not aware of taqwa, the noor of taqwa, and the principle is that things are understood and identified based on their opposites, then when it has not seen that noor and that light and that beauty of taqwa, it is not aware of the darkness that it is in. So therefore it considers this as the norm. Therefore the need is that the nafs should be made aware and given the taste of the beauty of taqwa. Once it has the taste of the beauty of taqwa, then it will start feeling the opposite, the darkness and the hardship of the life of disobedience. And then it will definitely get the greed, get the want, get the longing to be in that life of light and beauty, and will have a natural hatred towards evil. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us an understanding. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم وصلى الله تعالى على خير خلقه سيدنا مولانا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Any general questions, please? Any general questions? Okay.